Hello, everybody. My name is Florian Nuţă, and I will discuss today about the determinants of households' energy consumption patterns. We are living in a world where the energy and the green behavior is quite important for our sustainability goals and to ensure a better future for ourselves and for future generations. It was widely recognized that energy consumption and energy sources are responsible for the climate change, are responsible for intensive pollution, but are also connected with a lot of modern life features, such as a lot of things that make our living better. And of course, it was strictly connected with the economic growth. So, talking about how we switch our energy consumption patterns, it's a critical discussion and should be further investigated. The context for this research is given by the sustainability goals. Specifically, three of them are connected with my study. The first one, no poverty. The fifth one, gender equality, and the seventh, of course, affordable and clean energy. Poverty and gender equality are two of the sustainability goals to be fulfilled by the humankind for a better life. Energy transition is one of the key actions for mitigating climate change, being connected, as I told you before, with a lot of modern life features and with economic growth. However, due to the challenges related to renewable energy costs and affordability, other social and economic features such as poverty and gender disparities may affect its efficiency. Another key element here, which was widely discussed and connected with mitigating climate change and mitigating pollution, is the transition towards a bigger share of energy, of renewable energy in total energy production and consumption. However, it is rather hard to do it overnight because it involves new technologies, and new technologies are quite expensive and hard to obtain, especially for developing countries, and the access to ever increasing and expensive energy is quite difficult for several communities, and those communities which are already dealing with structural gaps, development gaps, and a low source of financial investment potential. We have analyzed the impact of poverty on two separate dimensions. The first is related to the qualitative area, which is dealing with the fact that poor households will be less willing to use energy efficient appliances and general goods because of the initial cost, the investment, expensive costs. The second discussion is about the quantitative matter, specifically that the poor households will generally tend to minimize their energy consumption. So first, the poor households and low-income households and communities will be less willing to participate in this energy transition because of the initial investment in energy efficient appliances and general goods, and of course in those categories of energy connected with renewable energy. And on the other hand, on the quantitative discussion, poor households will tend to minimize their energy consumption because their limited income, which will be first directed to basic needs and afterwards to more complex needs and more expensive initiatives. The main objectives are related to determine how the impact of energy, of poverty and gender equality will influence the household's energy consumption in several European countries. Of course, as I've told you, there is quite luxurious literature on the matter of energy and the relationship between energy and poverty, general poverty and energy poverty. And there are several things, several theories, several directions of studying this relation arise. First, we are talking about the poverty versus energy paradox, which describes how poor households pay more for their energy consumption than richer people, only because they cannot afford to invest in energy efficient goods or more efficient fuels. So it is a paradox. Why it is a paradox? Because they should invest and they should go towards energy efficient activities, because energy efficient will diminish their energy consumption. But because they cannot afford to invest in such transition, they will stay with less efficient appliances, less efficient goods, but will tend to diminish the energy consumption. Under these circumstances, it is likely that they will stay poor. They will stay poor because they cannot break this threshold and go towards energy efficiency and increase their energy efficiency, by which they would make economies, and they will decrease the income they put on energy consumption. Actually, energy poverty will lead to a lot of issues, a lot of health issues. For example, will lead to indoor pollution, will add carbon emissions, will influence the biodiversity, and create, as said before, a lot of health issues. For the individuals, this will create more economic constraints, deepening their poverty. Why is that? Because yes, they will tend to decrease the energy consumption, but that energy consumption there is already in place, is coming from all pollution sources of energy and sources that generate problems, generate health problems and living problems for that household. Problems that will involve, at the end of the day, other costs for health, for other things that will put a lot of pressure on the household's budget, and will also hinder their willingness to increase the green behavior. Additionally, the pressure on the national budget, if we are going to the macroeconomic level, the national budgets will have to increase and address all these problems created by the energy poverty. The national budget will have to involve more financial resources to mitigating health issues. We'll have to involve other financial sources to mitigate pollution, to help mitigating biodiversity loss, maybe, and so on. So not investing in energy efficiency and not addressing the cause, which is energy poverty, will create a lot of other effects that will have to be mitigated individually and put a lot of pressure on the national budgets and, of course, on household budgets. For example, Bentley et al. Saying that when individuals cannot afford to warm their homes, their mental health declines. So the mental health and the mental welfare is a highly debated issue these days, and scholars already discussed about how energy poverty and these issues related to energy creates more mental instability and mental health problems. If we are talking about a graphical explanation for this relationship between poverty, energy poverty, pollution, and financial limitations, we can say that poverty affects energy poverty and creates actually energy poverty. Energy poverty will contribute to increasing pollution and environmental degradation. And all the debates around the pollution and environmental degradation also creates health issues and social problems. And all these environmental degradation, health problems, social disparities will influence budgets and will melt away the financial sources, both in households and national budgets. And of course, creating these pressures on the financial sources will come back on the poverty and will influence the poverty, because when you are using your financial sources to mitigate the effects, you will skip the cause, and you will not address the cause. You will lose all the financial possibilities tackling the effects, but the cause, which is poverty, will remain unaddressed because of the financial limitation you already have. Why is happening this thing with the energy, and why is energy causing so much damage to the environment, to the individual's health, and finally to their financial resources? Because there is an energy ladder which was created to emphasize how exists a relationship between the level of income and the sources of energy. And you can see here on this energy ladder that those communities and those households with very low income will actually use more intensively solid fuels. And the solid fuels coming from agricultural wastes, wood, and all this kind of stuff, which is highly responsible for health issues, for indoor pollution, and for creating a lot of pressure on the level of carbon emissions. If we are taking together the very low income with low income, we shall see that is actually quite the same, but also other solid fuels such as charcoal, which also is highly responsible for intensive pollution. If we are going towards the higher level of income, if we are passing through the middle income and going to the high income households, we shall see that when the income increases, the households will diversify their energy sources. They will abandon those basic sources such as crop wastes, dung, wood, charcoal, right? And will tend to connect to the national grid, to have access to natural gas, to electricity coming hopefully from cleaner sources of energy, and maybe from renewable sources of energy, but connecting to the national grid and paying for this will ask for a higher level of income. Until then, the households will remain unconnected, and even if the national economy, the country, the nation will access the renewable energy benefits and will input in their electricity production renewable sources, those households remaining unconnected to the national grid will not benefit from it. So they have to be connected to be a part of this renewable energy transition. Discussing about gender, it's also important to create more opportunities and involve women on different levels, starting from their involvement in managing public policies, managing public budgets, and having a part in the decision making on energy policy. Again, it is important to diversify not only in energy but also in social and public involvement. Our results, which were robust, discuss about three main findings. Poverty decreases energy use, women participation to labor market decrease energy use. Additionally, women involvement in decision-making process decrease energy use. And the last, which is the control result, public spending for environmental protection increase energy use. Let's pass through very rapidly through the meaning of these results, because at the first sight, some of them look quite awkward. For example, poverty decreases energy use. At the first sight, could be a bad thing, right? To reduce energy use. Actually, it's not, because the meaning is that poverty limits the access to energy sources and decrease households' energy use, while the households lean towards energy poverty and informal sources of energy. Just as I told you when discussing the energy ladder, the poor households will be disconnected from the national grid, and statistically speaking, and the official statistics, they will not consume energy, which is wrong. They will actually consume, but their sources of energy will be not so environmental friendly. The second finding, women participation to labor market and women involvement in decision-making process supposes a higher level of education and responsibility. Under these circumstances, the result is an environmental friendly behavior and increased energy efficiency. We all know that education is a key to mitigate all the problems and to mitigate and to switch from irresponsible behavior to more responsible behavior and to diversifying the needs, right? So involving women in labor market and in decision making involves this transition to responsible behavior and towards a better existence and better life opportunities. And of course, the last finding is that public spending for environmental protection involves investing in renewable sources of energy and the access of people to clean energy sources while phasing out fossil fuels. It also supposes increasing the financing for green energy investments and actions dedicated to energy just transition. As I've told you, is a control result, meaning that actually it is quite intuitive to see that spending and investing in environmental protection initiatives will create better opportunities to mitigate environmental degradation, carbon emissions, and finally, the climate change. This is a graphical explanation of these results, talking about poverty, gender diversity, and social involvement, and those public policies and public financial resources involved in environmental protection. That was it. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to receiving questions and comments from you. And of course, see you next time for other discussions and presentations. Thank you. Bye-bye.